Welcome back, Husky fans. We are currently in the midst of March Madness for your number one seeded UConn men's basketball team. I'm Avery Becker.
And I'm Noah Keaten. And this is Hurley's Hoops.
Hurley and the Huskies have their dreams come true.
On Friday, March 22nd, the number one seeded UConn Huskies took on the number 16 seed Stetson Hatters in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, which is our new addition to Storrs South. The Huskies started this game completely hot. We were making shots. Our defense was elite. I mean, we were unstoppable. At the end of the first half, the score is 52-19. And I don't know what kind of message that sends other than terrifying to other teams. The second half started off a little slow for the Huskies. I mean, it looked like we were asleep out there. I don't know what was going on, but a couple of TV and Dan Hurley timeouts, and we got it right back going. Scoring in the second half 39-33. Even with us not playing to our best in the second, we still outscored the Hatters. And everyone on the team was really a great piece. I mean, everyone was scoring within the teens. Everyone was doing their part and having a good game. But talking about good games, let's start off with Donovan Clingan. I mean, 19 points, 9 for 11 on his field goals, and 8 rebounds. All he did the entire game was create space, create in open lanes. I mean, his heavy attack at the rim was both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, blocking shots, making steals. He was unstoppable, and this is exactly what we need him to do. We saw a little bit of a slowdown at the end of the regular season for Donovan, but he's been heating up in the postseason, which is exactly what the Huskies need. And Cam Spencer, 15 points, 5 for 11 on his field goals, going 3 for 7 on his three-pointers and 5 rebounds. Not the best shooting day for Cam, but, I mean, throughout the season we've seen Cam as an excellent shooter. This is not a problem for us. I mean, we'll talk about later how he is elevating his shooting and how he's just been a key piece for the Huskies. And even we saw some good players off the bench. I mean, Jalen Stewart, he was on the court for a good amount of time. Only 5 points, but he's still getting those game reps. He's still in there getting the minutes that he needs to be a key rotation piece. And Samson Johnson, we didn't really see him a lot in the regular season, but come postseason, he's going to be a very key addition. He only had 2 points against the Hatters, but that doesn't really matter, as he's going to be a great rotational piece for Donovan when he needs to come off. The Huskies won this game 91-52 in a great start for March Madness.
I like what you said about having the hot first half and that kind of being terrifying to other teams. And I know recently we've been starting a lot of our games with kind of a slow start in our shooting, and then it's like 1 point deficit at the half for the other team, and then we bring it back up in the second half. But this is the complete opposite. But I agree that I think we need to have a little bit more consistency in both halves instead of having one be a little bit have players bring a little bit more in one half than the other. But I agree, Donovan has been an incredible player for us in March Madness. I know he had a little bit of a slump as we started getting towards the end of the season, but he's really picking it back up, and it's going to be really excited to see him play. On Sunday, March 24th, the UConn Huskies faced number 9 seeded Northwestern Wildcats for the second round of March Madness at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And this was the first time both of these teams had seen each other in a game in program history. And the Wildcats were a very physical team, pushing us on both sides of the ball. And the Wildcats got themselves into foul trouble multiple times because of that. And Donovan Clingan had another stellar game with a double-double, finishing with 14 points and 14 rebounds. Only 3 players in the NCAA tournament history have made 14 rebounds, 14 points, and 8 blocks, and that includes David Robinson from the Navy in 1986, Hakeem Olajuwon from Houston in 1983, and now, of course, our very own sophomore Donovan Clingan. Samson Johnson also looked really great during the game when he went in for Donovan Clingan, notching multiple rebounds and really proving himself as that backup spot for Donovan Clingan and really providing that depth we need, especially under the hoop. Tristan Newton had another great game with 20 points and 10 assists. As a grad student this year, he's really showing that maturity and experience we need during the postseason, as we hope to run it back with our 6th national championship. We ended up winning the game against the Wildcats 75-58, moving us on to the Sweet 16 in Boston.
And that score may look good. I mean, we have been dominant and showing dominance throughout March Madness so far. But we were 3 for 22 from beyond the arc, which if we want to continue through the Sweet 16 into the Elite 8 and the Final Four, that needs to be fixed. I mean, we got lucky that we didn't need to have as many three-pointers, but we cannot be doing that in the future. I mean, Cam Spencer, going back to him, he's been electric, elite with his shooting all year. And I talked to him a little bit in Brooklyn about how he needs to create space and how he wants to pursue shooting further. And he said he's just going to follow the game plan of what his coach is saying. So hopefully Hurley will put him in better situations to shoot, because when he has the ball in his hands, he makes it practically every time. Moving on to the Hurley's Hoops Player of the Week, and I feel like I've said this a lot this season, but who else but Donovan Clingan? I mean, he was elite in both games. He's showing so much maturity, so much improvement, and it's just the postseason. I know the Huskies like to play well in March, but Donovan has taken a huge step in exactly what we need. He won Player of the Game in both games. Again, he had 19 points against Stetson, really all around the rim and dunking it in. We had Tristan Newton passing it up to him. We had Steph passing it up to him. Moving on to Northwestern, again with that amazing game. I mean, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 8 blocks. That is historic. I mean, who is this kid? He's a hometown kid, and he is just exactly what we need. He loves being a Husky, and we need him to keep playing like this. I mean, our stars need to play like stars, and Donovan has been showing up.
It's been really amazing to see how he's grown over the years, especially last year being Adama Sanogo's backup. And as Tristan Newton said, he's just bringing so much depth to the team, and he's such a special player. And I know we were in Brooklyn sitting in the press box, and after the first half versus Northwestern, he already achieved that double-double, and we were like, wow, this kid is elite. It's definitely going to be such a fun time watching him during the postseason, and I feel like it's just going to be up for him from here, especially going into further seasons with the Huskies. After the win against Northwestern, the Huskies are shipping up to Boston to face the San Diego State University Aztecs from TD Garden on Thursday at 7:30 for the Sweet 16. A player to look out for on the Aztecs is Jaden Ledee, who averages about 21.5 points per game. And not only is this a really big game for the Huskies, it's only the last 16 teams in the championship tournament, but it is a rematch from the national championship last year, where the Huskies went on to win their 5th national championship. In order for the Huskies to win this game and keep the sweep against the Aztecs, it really needs to be more than just Tristan, Donovan, and Cam stepping up if we want to go on to the Elite Eight, and we also really need to fix our shooting from beyond the arc. But I think that it's going to be a hometown game for Alex Karaban, the Massachusetts kid. His family's going to be there. We were talking about him in Brooklyn, and he was saying that he's played at TD Garden throughout his childhood. It's really going to be a special time for him. So I think having his family there and being on home court for him will help him bring that advantage, and I think he's going to shoot really well for the Huskies, and I think it's going to be a really good game. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. I'm Avery Becker.
And I'm Noah Keaten, and this is Hurley's Hoops.